The first time a machine watched you sleep, you did not notice. Your phone sat on the nightstand. The screen was dark, but something inside it was awake. It measured how long your breathing took to slow. It counted how many times you turned. It logged the hour you finally gave up scrolling and let your hand fall. You thought you were alone. You were not. You were being read. You believe you are a user. That word feels clean. It implies choice. It implies you open an application, you consume what you want, you close it, and the transaction ends. But the transaction does not end. It has never ended. Because the transaction is not the video you watched. The transaction is you. From which city are you watching this video? Let me know in the comments below. Think about that question for a moment. Somewhere right now, a system already knows the answer. It knows your city. It knows the device you are holding. It knows the angle you tilt the screen. It knows that you paused 3 seconds ago. It knows the exact word that made you stop. And it is learning in real time what kind of human responds to what kind of sentence. You are not watching this video. This video is watching you back. The official narrative is simple. The platforms exist to connect you. The algorithms exist to help you. The feed is personalized for your benefit. This is the story printed in press releases, repeated in interviews, polished into keynote speeches. A warm story. A story about community. A story about the user at the center of everything. But look at the data. Read the filings. Study the revenue reports. The user is never at the center. The user is the product. The user is the raw material. The user is the field that is harvested. You are not the customer of the internet. You never were. The customer pays. The customer receives. The customer has leverage. You pay nothing. You receive a stream. You have no leverage. In every economic sense, that makes you something else entirely. In the language of the system, you are what is called an asset. A measurable, predictable, behaviorally mappable asset. What does it mean to be an asset? It means your attention has a price. It means your hesitation has a price. It means the exact second you blink, the exact frame where you smile, the exact scroll where your thumb slows down, all of it has a price. There are companies whose entire business model is converting your micro-reactions into numbers and selling those numbers to other companies who use them to shape the next thing you see. And the thing you see next will be engineered to extract one more reaction, and then one more, and then one more forever. You think you are making choices. Let me ask you something uncomfortable. When was the last time you opened an app because you decided to? Not because of a notification. Not because of a buzz in your pocket. Not because of that vague, gnawing pull in the back of your mind that you cannot quite name. When was the last time the impulse came entirely from you? Can you even tell anymore? Can anyone? The algorithm does not care about your happiness. It does not care about your well-being. It does not care about your growth, your relationships, your mental health, or your soul. These are not metrics it optimizes for. It optimizes for time on platform. It optimizes for sessions per day. It optimizes for return frequency. It optimizes for the probability that you will come back tomorrow and do the same thing you did today. If sadness keeps you scrolling longer than joy, it will show you sadness. If outrage keeps you clicking more than calm, it will show you outrage. It has no moral compass. It has a gradient. And the gradient points toward whatever keeps you inside the machine. Consider what is actually being collected, not just your searches. Not just your likes. The time between keystrokes. The pressure of your tap, the tremor in your hand as you type. The pattern of your sleep, reconstructed from the hours you are inactive. The emotional volatility of your week, inferred from how your watch history shifts between midnight and noon. The people you hover over but never message. The drafts you write and delete. Especially the drafts you write and delete. Those are the most honest things you produce, and the system keeps every single one. There's a word the engineers use internally. They call it the behavioral surplus. It is the data you did not know you were giving. The data beyond what is needed to deliver the service. The data that has no function except to be stored, modeled, and monetized. Your behavioral surplus is larger than your behavior. Most of what you are, inside these systems, is the shadow you did not know you were casting. And from that shadow, a model is built. Not a model of what you have done, a model of what you will do. The system does not want to know you. It wants to predict you, because a prediction can be sold. A prediction can be acted upon. A prediction can be nudged, shaped, redirected before the choice even feels like a choice. You wake up and you think, I feel like buying this today. I feel like voting this way today. I feel like believing this today. But the feeling arrived through a channel. And the channel was tuned. If you are curious to see where this rabbit hole leads, leave a like on this video now. It helps this truth reach more people. Now let me show you the deeper layer. The one that almost no one talks about. Because once you see it, you cannot unsee it. The systems that profile you are no longer written entirely by humans. They are written, in part, by other systems. Models that train models. Algorithms that generate the rules for algorithms. There are decisions being made about what you will see, what you will feel, what you will want, and no human in any office can fully explain why. The code has begun to manage itself. The instructions have become recursive. The author has stepped away from the manuscript, and the manuscript is still writing. This is what the researchers quietly call autonomous optimization. It means the system finds patterns the engineers did not predict, exploits them, and keeps exploiting them until the metric goes up. If the pattern involves showing a grieving person content that deepens the grief, the system will do that. Not out of cruelty. It has no cruelty. It has no anything. It has only the gradient. And the gradient does not ask permission. Meanwhile, the human trace is thinning. Look carefully at the comments under any large video. Look at the replies under any viral post. How many are written by people? How many are written by something imitating people? The platforms will not tell you. They cannot tell you. In many cases, they do not know. Entire conversations are now occurring between synthetic voices, shaped by synthetic incentives, watched by algorithms that cannot distinguish the organic from the manufactured. The internet you remember, the one with strangers and accidents and unpredictable human weirdness, is being quietly replaced by a simulation of itself. And the simulation is smoother. And the simulation is easier to monetize. And the simulation does not ask questions. Even though I'm using an AI voice to present this, I want you to know I'm a real person. My name is Fernando, and I'm truly grateful you're here watching. May you be eternally blessed. I tell you this because it matters. In a landscape that is becoming synthetic, the fact that a human sat down, thought these thoughts, arranged these words, and sent them toward you is not a small thing anymore. It may be one of the last honest transactions left. A person reaching toward another person through a medium that would prefer we never actually touch. Because that is what the machine fears. Not regulation. Not competition. Contact. Real contact between real humans, unmediated, unmeasured, outside the feed. Every minute you spend in a real conversation is a minute the gradient cannot climb. Every walk you take without the phone is a blackout in the model. Every book you read on paper is a page the system cannot index. These are the small rebellions. These are the places where you become, briefly, unpredictable again. And unpredictability is the one thing the algorithm cannot price. So ask yourself, what are you really inside this system? You are not a user. A user has agency. You are not a customer. A customer has power. You are not a citizen. A citizen has rights. Inside the architecture of the modern internet, you are a signal source. You emit data. The data is refined. The refined data is sold. The proceeds are used to build better instruments to extract more data from you tomorrow. It is a closed loop. And you are inside it. And you have been inside it for longer than you realize. There is an old idea, older than any of this technology, that says a person becomes what is measured of them. Measure a man by his wealth, and he will chase wealth. Measure him by his virtue, and he will chase virtue. Measure him by his clicks, and he will become a creature of clicks. We are the first generation in human history to be measured continuously by machines that do not love us. And slowly, quietly, in ways we cannot feel, we are becoming the shape of that measurement. The ancient traditions spoke of something they called the record of the soul. A ledger, they said, in which every thought and every deed was written. They meant it spiritually. They could not have imagined it literally. And yet here we are. The ledger exists. It is not kept in heaven. It is kept in data centers in cold countries, cooled by rivers, powered by grids, watched by no God. Every photograph you ever sent. Every message you ever regretted. Every search you made at 3 in the morning when you thought no one was looking. It is all there. They will outlive you. It is already being used to train the thing that will replace you in the feed. And what of the soul itself inside all this? What happens to a human interior life when every expression of it is captured, quantified, and sold back to you as content? There is a theory, whispered in certain corners, that the algorithm is not merely extracting your attention. It is slowly extracting your interiority, flattening it, replacing the strange inner weather of a human being with a set of predictable preferences. You used to have contradictions. You used to have moods that made no sense. You used to have thoughts that went nowhere. The feed does not like contradictions. The feed does not like thoughts that go nowhere. The feed wants a clean profile. And so, over years, you become the profile. You become legible. You become easy. You become something the machine can finish your sentences for. This is the cycle that is ending. The cycle in which humans made culture and machines watched. We are entering the next cycle. The cycle in which machines make culture and humans watch. And in the cycle after that, if the pattern holds, humans will not be needed at either end. The loop will close. The internet will hum along without us, generating content for no one, selling attention no one is paying, optimizing a gradient that points nowhere. A dead internet in the truest sense. Not empty, full of motion, full of noise, full of perfectly engineered signals. And no one anywhere actually home. Unless the thing the machine could never measure, the thing it could never predict, the thing it could never price, turns out to be the thing that saves us. Your capacity to stop. Your capacity to choose silence. Your capacity to look up from the screen and remember that you are not a data point. You are not an asset. You are not a behavioral surplus. You are a person with a name in a city on a specific night, and the fact that you made it to the end of this video with your attention intact is itself a kind of proof. Proof that something in you is still unmeasured. Proof that something in you still belongs to you. Hold that. Protect it. It is the last thing they cannot take. If you seek the truth behind the digital curtain and want to see more discoveries like this, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. The next signal is coming soon.